So I do have some extra banter questions that I was thinking of last night at 2 a.m. So we'll throw those in.
Perfect time to think of banter. Perfect time to think about it.
Yeah, that's when I really work. Well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to talk with my friend Richard from Adoption Adventures. He is not a new adoptive parent. He's been around the block and he's got a lot to say. He's located in the United Kingdom, and I am really excited to pick his brain about how things work there and compare them to what we're seeing here and what I experienced. What I love about Richard's stories is that they're like my stories. He and his husband ended up meeting and falling in love with a little 7-year-old boy, just like I did. And I love hearing how that progress of the relationship has grown because his son is just a little older than mine. So I go, ooh, what am I looking forward to? Richard and his husband on the show are Dad and Daddy. They have been parents for about 8 years, and their journey is a roller coaster, as he calls it, but he's learned a lot, and he's here to share some really clear perspective with future or potential foster to adopt parents. He's been training parents for a while and sharing those experiences, not just the good stuff of you can do it, but the gritty, the honest as well. And I appreciate that so much. So I look forward to our conversation today. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's amazing to be a guest with you, and especially when you sent over your sort of like experiences. It's like, wow, okay, I'm walking with giants now. This is this is really awesome. So yeah, I mean, lovely to be a guest with you, and I'm right in saying that people can learn more about you from adoptiontolife.com. Is that correct?
That's right. Everything's there. The book, everything, the blog, all the social media links. And there will be a link on there. It's already up today, adoptiontolife.com/2020/adoption adventures. And it'll host this page here and all the extra little commentary that I'm going to add. All right. Let's get going. So today we are going to discuss some of the things we've learned from adopting through the foster care system in our respective countries. Richard and I have both adopted domestically from foster care. So we are speaking from our perspectives in 2 different countries. However, a lot of the stories do align, but just know, depending on who's speaking, we are underneath different legal systems and processes that so depending on who's speaking, don't take it for gold, know the context.
Please do added research.
Yeah. And
especially if I'm speaking, because if I'm speaking, there's a good chance I'm winging it.
Oh boy. So we also both agree on the complete truth that adopting an older child is so worthwhile, and it's this magical, and it's an unraveling, but it is magical to see the trauma sort of fall away and this beautiful child emerge, and all the possibilities and all the wonderful things that can come from healing and safety. So
absolutely, yeah, couldn't agree more.
So Richard, what would be something you consider a top or critical consideration for going into this when you're adopting or thinking of adopting, and that child is now maybe older than you initially, a lot of people go in, they say, I want the baby, but now they've opened up their mindsets, or maybe they started there and they're older. What would you say?
So top considerations, I mean, I think as an umbrella to a lot of it is open-mindedness. Keeping an open mind to your approach to everything has really, really helped us. But a consideration that we had, or I suppose it's actually better if I label it as a fear, because we came into the process looking to adopt a much younger child. But when we started the process of looking at our little dude, the first fear that I had was the fear of missing all of their firsts.
Was that FOMO? Fear of missing out?
Yeah. absolute FOMO. It was this mass fear of like I wanted to be a parent. I can cognitively remember being 19 years of age and knowing I wanted to be a dad and adoption was going to be the route for me. And I remember starting to picture and put together all of these concepts of what it was going to be like, and you start building this perfect dream. And I was thinking about all of the wonderful experiences I'd had as a child and wanting to repeat that with my own child. And I was thinking about sort of story times, bedtimes, getting my child dressed and sort of having cuddles and doing bath times. You know, my
Yeah.
mum will often talk to us about the amazing experiences that she had and sort of the journey that she went on during bath times and how wonderful that was. And they're such beautiful experiences to me. And when our path changed to looking at an older child, I started almost putting big X's through all of these things that I thought I was going to
Mm,
miss out
mm. I know
on. So,
that feeling.
you know, we were going to be taking on a 7-year-old, and automatically, now bear in mind, I had spent time with 7-year-olds, so I don't know where this logic came from, but I was like, right, okay, 7, right, well, he's practically at university. So, he's going to be shaving already. He won't need me anymore. I was like, he won't need me to do any bath times. There's definitely no chance to get dressed. Reading to him, not a chance. He's going to be pushing me away. And I think it was that sort of ultimate fear of, we're going to start our relationship and I'm only going to get maybe a year or two because before he just doesn't need me anymore.
Oh,
And that was a real big fear for me.
okay. So
And
that is definitely something to consider, that before you even lay eyes on this child, you have to sort of reconcile those expectations, those hopes,
mm,
and those fears.
yeah,
And I I did I think I went into this a little more on the opposite end of you, where we had already been over the baby thing, and the wait for an infant was like 2 to 7 years. But if you wanted an older child, they're like, hey, we can probably get somebody within 2 months. It was
yeah,
it was like, we wanted to be parents, we've been waiting so long, this was so much work, let's just do it. So I released that expectation. But
mm,
we were looking for like a 2 to 4 year old. We were still looking for someone that we could, for a lack of a better word, shape a little bit more
yeah,
easily.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because there is a little fear in that of established routines and patterns. So when we met my son, they said he was 5, and we said, okay, that's work. Because when they say 2 to 4, then they are like, yeah, but really. So he wasn't 5; he was 7, but
Wow.
he was so
Yeah.
physically small. They
Mm,
didn't know. So he
wow.
told us, he said, yeah, it's that this is my birthday. And I said, that makes you 7. Um,
Wow. Yeah.
and yeah, he was wearing size 4 toddler clothes at that point, which is really, really, really sad.
Mm,
So, anyways, we were like, yeah, we're all in. He's amazing. There's a whole first meet story and all that. Um, but in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, as he's begun to be less of the new baby in the house and be more of the preteen, don't tell me what to do. You guys don't know anything. Okay, when we're in that, I think I got gypped. Where did my cuddles go? Because
yeah.
I wonder, the parents that go to the hard stuff and they didn't have the soft stuff, never, like, I have nothing to look back on. I don't have those memories of holding him in my arms and looking into his eyes as a baby. And so now I feel not the fear of missing out. Now I feel gypped.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
get that.
that's
I
real.
can see that.
Yeah.
I've only ever had, I think, probably maybe 3 conversations since we adopted it. I think I've only had about 3 conversations where I genuinely felt like I had I'll say I missed out. So there was one particular day I was walking back from the school with a group of mums, and they had a young one in a pushchair, and they all then started sharing stories about when their little one
Oh.
stopped using the pushchair.
Hmm.
And I remember sort of thinking, I don't have that memory, and that's a memory I'm never going to have. I can't ever create that memory.
Right. And he can't tell you it. It's just, it doesn't exist.
Exactly, yeah. And I think that was one of the very small handfuls of times where there was a pang of, oh, that's something I'm never going to experience.
Hmm.
Um, there are highs to that. They also talked about sort of nappy and toilet training, and yeah,
Free!
I missed that. Oh damn, that's a
Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the first part of the guest interview. I am your host, Janelle Molony with Adoption to Life. My webpage is adoptiontolife.com, and you can find me on all the socials. I can't wait to show you the next part of this interview with Richard. It's pretty fabulous. Check it out.